Hey there, adventure fans. This might be a little bit of a different background than you guys are used to. We are in the wonderful and exciting, yet still loud, Central Park. We're up in the northern portion of Central Park today, just walking around checking it out. And one of the things I get asked all the time is, how do I start hiking, right? Everybody's always on social media checking everything out, maybe Facebook, Instagram, whatever. You really need to stop comparing your life to somebody else's highlight reel and get out there and start making your own. So today we're gonna go over the 5 steps to start hiking. Basically, keep it simple. You don't start by running marathons. You start with smaller 1 kilometer or 5K runs and you make your way up to running half marathons and marathons. The same goes with hiking. So start by finding something in your area, a 4 to 5 kilometer flat-ish hike. I'm in Central Park, right? So there's all these lovely little pathways off here, and we also have some paved spots if we need to. The nice thing about somewhere like Central Park is that you're still close enough to civilization. Your cell phone definitely works in here, and there's enough NYPD in the area to come save your sorry butt if something goes wrong. How well do you know your walkability? The nice thing about having a fitness tracker is that I'm able to map the walks that I take with the dogs, and I know what a 4 to 5 kilometer walk feels like, and from there I'm able to evaluate my hiking skills. Don't know where to hike? That's fine. Then download an app like All Trails onto your phone. It ranks all the hikes in your area from easy, moderate to hard, and will also track your progress while you're out on that trail. You can also buy any maps or guides at your local adventure store. One of my favorite places to hike is Backcountry Recreation Area. I'm going to link to it down below for all you local Edmontonians so you know how to get out there. It is a 6 kilometer easy-ish hike. It does have some hills, which I really enjoy because that's where I test out all my new gear. The nice thing is you're also close enough to Edmonton that you kind of have that safety net if you need to just head home. Step number 2, find a friend. This person will be your safety net. They will help push you up the hill, and they will be able to share in your successes, your victories, and all the memories. Don't know anybody that hikes? That's okay. There's a lot of online hiking groups. My favorite is Hike Alberta, which is a Facebook group. You can go on there. You can always find other experienced hikers that are willing to take you out and get you used to the area, especially if you're new to an area. Step 3, gear. You don't want to bring the wrong gear, but you don't want to break the bank buying new gear. One of the things my girlfriend always says is that she's always wearing the wrong shoes around me. I'm used to walking anywhere from 10 to 30 kilometers a day for work, so I'm not always used to other people not having that same level of mileage. And the last thing you want is to have a hike totally ruined by mangled toes and blisters. The most that you're really going to need is a simple trail runner. Quite often I will retire my old fitness runners into my trail runners. That also being said, I've broken both my ankles, so I will quite often opt for just a slightly higher boot to provide myself with a little bit more stability into the areas that I have problems. But remember that a boot is a little bit heavier than a runner, and the heavier the boot or footwear, the faster you will fatigue. The next piece of gear I recommend you look into is a backpack. Right now, Justin is wearing my Camel Pack, which I'm pretty sure I got for about $50 at Canadian Tire, and I am wearing a canvas camera bag. It's okay, but it doesn't have really good ventilation, so it's a little bit warm on the back. The only time you need to start looking at bigger and better and more expensive bags is when you start getting into the bigger hikes. Some of the other gear that I recommend would be a camera, right? You could also bring your phone, although I generally try and recommend that people not bring their cell phones out and have that chance and that ability to unplug. Although that being said, quite often a cell phone can also be a safety net, right? Especially out here where we are in Backcountry Recreation Park right now, there is cell service, so I could always call for help if something went wrong. And you can use it as some form of GPS with programs like All Trails. If you really want to unplug and get away, I'm going to recommend a PLB, or a personal locator beacon. I will link down to Spot's website. We also mentioned it in our May's Campfire Coffee Chat in regards to the 10 essentials. We kind of featured it in there. And InReach also now sells a GPS personal locator beacon package that I think goes for about $600 Canadian. Again, I will link everything down below so you guys will be able to have a look at that. Step 4, prepare. think about your safety. If you're not quite sure what you need to bring with you, go check out our May Campfire Coffee Chat where we talk about the 10 essentials you should bring with you everywhere you're going. Right? You need to be prepared and ready for your adventure. Part of that preparation process starts here in my home office. That's why I'm in my comfy gear today. So let's hop over onto that computer and I'll show you a little bit of that process that I go through when I'm getting prepared for a hike. Okay, so now that we're on the computer, here's my desktop. What we're gonna do is definitely just kind of start off with my general, what I go over. So I'm going to be using the Shirley Lake Trail as an example for today. So this is one that I did for my birthday this year. So first thing I did was just kind of went on, had a quick look at where I was able to park, what my access routes were into that area. We ended up kind of doing a bit of a shortcut because it was kind of raining and miserable. So we did quickly come through just on the road. We ended up camping overnight at Oster Lake Backcountry Campground, and then we came back out on the trail. I have in the past done the full loop. It is absolutely gorgeous. I highly recommend. So this is at Elk Island National Park. This was actually the first time when we went on the 4th of June this year that we actually saw bison on the trail. So that was pretty awesome. So once I kind of know where that I want to go, and this is using the Government of Canada websites, which are okay. Some of the times I find their information to be a little lacking. Again, I just hop on over to All Trails. Again, I tend to love All Trails. They are not sponsoring us by any shape of the mean. Albeit if All Trails is listening and you do want to sponsor us, we're on board for some sponsorship. So I go on there, I have a look. This is super nice because I can click on this printable map, which I have open here in the next tab. Then I'm able to quickly print this map. It even has the elevation down in the bottom. Which is kind of nice again, so I can kind of have a look. You can print this off, you can get it as a downloadable PDF and all those other fun things. So there's that. Again, when you're on All Trails, one of the other things I like is just being able to open up the photos, and it gives you a chance to kind of quickly click through and see the other photos that anybody else has taken of the trail, so you can get some of that winter condition look, and so you kind of know what it's like to be out there during all different times of the year. So that's kind of nice. This is one of the reasons I truly love this app and the program Send to Phone. Great little thing. One of the other things I would also recommend, especially if you're going to somewhere in the national parks, check out their visitor safety. They're going to kind of go over some of the things, and especially for Elk Island. So we're just national parks, Elk Island Park, visitor safety, and it goes over that. One of the biggest ones out here will be the Be Bison Wise, and it talks about how to stay safe when you're out around the bison. Again, we were in there in that June timeframe. We didn't see any cows, thankfully. We just had 2 bulls that were kind of hanging out in our campground, and they were totally respectful of us, and we were totally respectful of them. We also saw a couple coyotes who were a little less respectful of our space, and to the point where we actually had the bear spray out during the evenings because we weren't sure if we were going to have to go down that route with those little pesky critters that night. Again, so just on the main page, sometimes there's also important bulletins that you can quickly look out. So area closures, restricted, and of course, national parks, absolutely no. UAV drones, or as they're calling them now is RPAs, remotely piloted aircraft. So if you guys are going and getting your drone license, which I'm in the process of doing right now. One of the other things I always check out next is just the weather. The weather network's pretty good for just giving me, so right now as you can see it is nothing but rain and cloudy there right now, which is again the same that I'm having in my hometown here. It's a little miserable, so you can kind of go, it gives you the general gist, but one of the things I also love is they have this lovely little thing where they're telling you about the bug problem that is in the park. So when we were on the roadway, the bugs weren't so bad, but it was pouring rain when we went in. However, when we were walking back through the trail, the mosquitoes were horrendous, to the point where my bug spray was in my main pocket, and about every kilometer or so we were reapplying just to keep them off of us. And we ended up passing a nice couple of guys up on the trail, and they were just heading in there like, did the bugs get any better? And we're like, no, but here, have our bug spray since you forgot yours. One of the other things that I also checked, just depending, because we were going out overnight with the intent to camp, and I know that there's campground fire pits at Oster Lake Backcountry, so we also checked out the fire bans for the Alberta area. Simple website, albertafirebands.ca. You can also go on to, there's another website that I don't have here that shows you where the active fires are, so I would definitely recommend avoid hiking where there is any active fires at the time. I will put that website up. One of the things that I also check that's a little bit more on that photography side of thing is I go to SunCalc. I also have photo pills on my phone as an app, again, not sponsored. But I highly recommend. It's a little bit on the pricier side, but it was definitely awesome. It shows sunrise, sunset. Again, shows you everything no different than this, when your golden phase and your blue phases will be for sunrise and sunset, and when would be that best time to get up and take those kinds of photos. So for Oster Lake, we definitely got up, took some sunrise photos, and then went back to bed and had a nap because the coyotes had kept us up for most of the night. So those are kind of the ones that I have up here right now. Let's see if we can just quickly find that active fires in Alberta. There you go. Wildfirealberta.ca, there we go. So this is another good one for just double checking where you're going. Again, paying attention to where you have some of those active fires and what you need to be avoiding the area for, right? So red for out of control, being held, and under control. So there we are. Right now, so if we were to go to Oster Lake, according to this map, anything in the Elk Island area is totes safe. So there you go. So just kind of checking those out. And again, by all means, use and abuse Facebook. Go on there. Again, I highly recommend Hike Alberta. If you're not sure, just throw up there, hey, I'm heading out to such and such place. I'm new to the area. What you got for me? Any recommendations? Anything I should avoid? Right? Sometimes you'll even get people that'll be like, hey man, I was just out there like 2 days ago. It's nothing but mud. I actually highly recommend a slightly different trail in the area. So there you go. That's everything that I have for the preparing while you're at home. Part of that preparation is also setting up that safety net, right? I'm a big fan of texting somebody that I love, be it my mom or my husband, giving them an idea of where I'm going, how long I intend to be out, what my path I intend to take is, and what I'm wearing for the day. Step 5. Probably the easiest of the steps, but the most important of the steps. Go outside and hike. You don't have to rush down the trail, take the time to smell the roses or the tree. But AD and I probably take twice as long to do a hike because we're always stopping to take pictures and enjoy the views like that out there. There's no need to rush. Thank you for watching this video on the 5 steps to how to start hiking. I'm going to link in the cards and down below to my favorite YouTube channels that offer hiking, adventure, and education. Also, we'll say hi to JQ. This is his first time coming out with us on a hike. He has been definitely working really hard in the background. He got us our .com and set up our emails for us. Other than that, tell us what you thought of this video. Send us any requests or suggestions for future videos. And until next time, go outside, find your adventure.